Back in high school and early college, I was the guy who overthought every single text message I sent to a girl, who would be obsessing over girls who didn't really want to be with me. And because of this, I got 0 girls during this time of my life, and I was extremely lonely and it was really rough for me. Fast forward to today, I have a girlfriend, I'm much more confident, and I have completely flipped the script and improved this aspect of my life. So what changed? What traits did I focus on developing that helped me with becoming more attractive to women? That's what we're going to cover in this video. To illustrate this, we're gonna look at these 2 guys, Timmy and Alexander. Timmy spends all of his free time scrolling and looking at girls on Instagram. He thinks he's being productive because he's getting ideas for what he wants his future girlfriend to be like. But Timmy, you've never even texted a girl before, so how could you possibly say that you're being productive? Timmy finally gets the confidence to text a girl. He sends her a message, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're the type of girl that I want to be with forever. You make me so happy." She opens Timmy's message, laughs, sends it to her friend's group chat, and leaves Timmy on read. Do not end up like Timmy. Alexander. Alexander does not waste time looking at girls on Instagram. Why would he? Alexander has women lining up at his front door to go on dates with him. His DMs are so flooded with messages from girls that he doesn't even have time to look at all of them. Because instead of spending his time chasing women, Alexander spends his time chasing purpose. And because Alexander chases his best self, women chase after him. So how can you be more like Alexander and less like Timmy? That's what we're going to cover in this video today. The first trait you must focus on as a young man is being purpose focused. There was this one girl who I liked back in high school, and I would spend all of my free time looking at her Instagram. I'd go to sleep, like obsessing over her. I'd get excited to go to see her first thing in the morning at school. And do you think I got the girl? Do you think I was successful with her? No, of course not. When you spend so much time obsessing over a girl, you're inevitably going to be slacking on your own goals as a man because you only have so much time in the day. So do you think you're going to get more of a benefit from obsessing over a girl or from obsessing over your goals, going to the gym, working on yourself, obsessing over your purpose? And also, when you obsess over a girl and you think about her so much and you want to make her your girlfriend so bad, it comes across as super needy in your actions. You're more likely to be the guy who gets nervous on a date when you're obsessing over her, when you're thinking about her all the time because you're so worried about losing her, compared to the guy who, yeah, he puts in effort, he texts her back, he shows that he's interested, but he doesn't obsess over her. He's not going to be completely crushed if she doesn't like him back. So what should you do? Well, make improving yourself the focus, not chasing girls. Instead of spending all your free time looking at girls on Instagram, DMing girls, obsessing over a girl, spend your free time developing yourself. And the thing that's kind of funny is that a lot of guys think the more I obsess over a girl, the harder I try to get a girl to like me back, the more likely she is to be into me. When in reality, the less hard you try to get a girl to like you back, the more likely she actually is to be into you. Now, when I say this, you still have to put in some effort. You still have to go approach her. You still have to set a date. You still have to go and see her because girls aren't really going to approach you that often. But there's a fine line with obsessing and trying way too hard to get her to like you back. And something that you must understand is that you are the biggest constraint on your dating life. A lesson I had to learn the hard way back then was that girls aren't into me because I haven't leveled myself up. I haven't improved myself. Like, I didn't have a great physique. I wasn't ambitious. I was just spending all my time playing video games, not doing anything productive. And I wondered, why am I not succeeding with girls? Well, I wasn't succeeding with girls because I was not the best version of myself. Because you must understand, you attract the type of person that you are. So if you want to be more attractive to women, well, what do you need to do? You need to focus on leveling yourself up, on becoming your best self. So what do? You go to the gym, you improve yourself, you figure out, why am I struggling with girls? And for every man, it's going to be different. For you, it might be you're not confident enough, which you need to just go talk to more girls and get more experience. It might be you need to work on your style. You don't really dress that well. It might be you're not in great shape. You need to go get in better shape. And if that is something you need help with, getting in better shape, going to the gym, my program will be linked in the description and I would love to work with you and get you results. So whatever it is that you're struggling with, figure that out and level that up and be the guy who's focused on himself and not chasing girls. The second trait that women find extremely attractive is an abundance mindset. There was this one time I was talking to this girl back in high school and she would always leave me on red, or I'd ask her to hang out and she'd say, "Oh, I can't today because I have to take my dog for a walk. Oh, I'm so busy, I have no time to hang out." But something you must understand is that if a girl never has time to hang out with you, it's not that she's so busy. Like, she's not Elon Musk, she's not Jeff Bezos. She has some free time. And do you think if she had high interest, would she be so busy? No. So it's not that she's never has any free time. It's just that she doesn't like you. If a girl ever is making excuses, just know that it's probably bullshit and she's just trying to reject you in a nice way. But back then, I was so obsessed with this girl and I was so obsessed with the idea of making her my girlfriend that I completely looked past this and I kept chasing after her, and eventually she just ended up straight up rejecting me. So what's the learning lesson from this moment? Well, it's that as a man, you have to have an abundance mindset. The opposite of an abundance mindset is a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset looks like chasing after girls who don't really care about you, putting a bunch of effort into someone who doesn't really want to be with you. And when you go on a date thinking, oh, I don't want to lose them. Oh, I hope I can impress this girl. No, that's all a very flawed mindset. So what an abundance mindset looks like is saying to yourself, if a girl doesn't want to be with me, why would I want to be with her? Why would I put effort into someone who doesn't want to put effort into me? And going on a date and saying to yourself, I'm a great guy, and if she wants to be with me, that's fantastic. I hope she wants to go out with me, but if she doesn't, fine, I'll just move on. And the truth is, the guy with the abundance mindset is always going to be so much more successful because he sets extremely high standards for the people that he dates. Think about it this way. Would you rather put effort into a girl who's not putting effort into you, or would you rather only date girls who have high interest? The way I want you to think about dating is it's kind of like a funnel. At the very top of the funnel, you have all the girls in the world. And when you're at this stage, when you're not talking to anyone, you want to set extremely high standards for the people that you date. Like, for example, if you're texting a girl and she's not really replying to you, she's not showing interest in you, she doesn't have high desire, just cut her off. There's no point. And then once you find a girl who has high interest, okay, now you start putting effort in, now you start texting her back. But if she's showing low interest, bro, have some respect for yourself. Set high standards. Don't chase after women who don't care about you, because now I'm in a relationship with a girl and everything was so easy in the start because she had high interest in me. And going through that experience and making her my girlfriend was so much better than like the 50s or hundreds of girls who I texted who didn't really care. That one girl who has high interest is going to make things so much easier than the girl who just is leaving you unread and not showing interest. So set high standards for the people that you talk to, because if you don't set standards for yourself and you put so much effort into every girl that you talk to, you're inevitably going to struggle with your dating life because you're not setting high standards for yourself. And it all starts with the way you view yourself and the standards that you set for yourself. So set high standards and don't settle for a girl who's not putting effort into you. The third trait that you have to focus on is leadership. I went back the other day and looked at some of the first messages that I used to send to girls, and bro, it was so cringe. Maybe I'll put some up on the screen so you can just kind of see like how bad it used to be. In these messages, did I come across as a guy who was a leader, as a guy who was confident? No. I came across as a guy who was second guessing himself, who was not very confident. If you'd like to go on a date with me, I think it'd be great for us to get to know each other. Bro, the best piece of advice I could give you for this section is just assume the girl is into you. Assume that she likes you. For example, when you go up and talk to her, don't be second guessing yourself. Maybe we should go on a date together. No, let's go on a date together. When are you free? Because it shows confidence. It shows that you believe in yourself. Now, the truth is every girl going to be into you? No, a lot of girls aren't going to be into you. But when you assume that she likes you, it shows confidence. And it shows that you're used to girls being into you because you're a high value guy. And sure, you could say, oh, well, the mindset isn't everything, but it all starts with the mindset. It all starts with the way that you view yourself, and then your actions will follow. But if you never change the mindset, you'll never change the actions. So that's why you have to see yourself as a catch. You have to see yourself as high value. Be a leader. Speak with conviction. When you're on a date with a girl, don't say things like, oh, I guess, I kind of like going to the gym, I'm kind of, no, speak with conviction. I go to the gym. This is what I do for fun. Speak like a leader. Speak in a masculine way. And at the end of the day, this all starts with demonstrating you can lead your own life. Be the guy who's focused on his purpose, on the right things, on becoming his best self. Because if you can't lead your own life, how can a girl trust you to lead her? Like, how could she see you as a leader when you don't even, when you're not even that disciplined, when you're not even doing the right things? So focus on leading your own life first, and then you can lead a relationship. And once you get to the point where you're on a date with a girl, what are some ways you can demonstrate leadership? Well, first of all, have some confidence, pick her up. Don't just say, oh, I'll meet you here. No, go pick her up. And some girls might want to meet you out because it could be a little, they might not be comfortable with like you picking them up and everything. So that's completely fine. If she's like, no, I'd prefer to just meet out, that's okay, that's fine. But at least offer to pick her up. Go up to the door, go knock on her door. There was this one time a guy came to pick my sister up for a date. I hope she's not watching this. That'd be kind of funny. But a guy came to pick up my sister for a date, and he just sat in his car. He didn't even come up to the door. And I instantly, like, of course, my opinion doesn't matter a ton because I'm just the older brother. But even my mom talked about how she lost so much respect for the guy because he didn't even come to the door. He didn't even introduce himself. So do those small things, right? Pick her up, go up to the door, introduce yourself. When you show up to the restaurant, open the door, pull the seat out. Do all the little gentleman things that show that you're a leader. And some guys might say, oh, being a gentleman, don't be a simp. Being a gentleman is not being a simp. There is a difference. You should always treat a woman well. You should always be a gentleman. Now, the difference between the gentleman and the simp, the gentleman is always kind. He's always putting in effort. But if a girl disrespects him, he doesn't be rude. He doesn't be mean. He just cuts her off. Whereas the simp keeps treating a girl really well, even though she disrespects him. So that's the difference between a gentleman and a simp. You should always be kind. You should always be respectful. But there's nothing simpy about being a gentleman. You should always be a gentleman. Now, the fourth trait women look for in a man is being a good listener. So I remember I used to always go on dates with girls and my whole focus would be on, oh, I'm gonna explain to her why she should like me back and I'm gonna talk about myself the whole time. And I would just yap about myself and then wonder, oh, why do girls not like me back? But you must understand, women want to be with a man who they feel heard and understood by, who they feel is listening to them, because that's how a girl gets comfortable with you. She gets comfortable with you by talking about herself, by sharing her stories, by you showing that you can listen to her. So when you go on a date with a girl, instead of talking about yourself the whole time, ask her high quality questions. Get to know her. Let her do most of the talking, because there were a lot of studies that show that women on average say, I forget the exact number, I'll put a picture up on the screen so I'm not like lying to you, but I think it was like women say 3,000 to 5,000 more words on average a day than a man. Because women are a lot more talkative. Because talking a lot, that's more feminine than it is masculine. So you want to let her be in her feminine by letting her do a lot of the talking and you just listening. Now, with that being said, there's a right way to ask questions and there's a wrong way to ask questions. The right way to ask questions is you ask her a question. Okay, what's the best place you've ever gone on vacation? The guy who knows what he's doing, she'll say, oh, I went to Mexico. Oh, what'd you think about Mexico? What'd you like a lot about Mexico? Oh, you had the food. What was your favorite food there? Like, each question kind of relates to each other and you have an actual conversation. Maybe you throw in some of your own stories. Oh, I went to Mexico too. This is about the time when I went to Mexico. Whereas the guy who asks questions in the wrong way, who doesn't know what he's doing, he'll say things like, oh, what's your favorite place you've gone on vacation? Mexico. Oh, that's cool. I'm sure you had a good time in Mexico. What's your favorite color? Oh, blue's your favorite color. Oh, who's your favorite music artist? You see the difference. Both of them, you're asking a lot of questions, which is a good thing. But the first guy, the guy who's successful, he asks questions that relate to one another and has an actual conversation, tells some of his own stories. Whereas the other guy, the second one, the Timmy, who's not successful, who's asking questions in an unattractive way, will just ask random question after random question. So that's the difference. That's how you ask questions in an attractive way. You don't just say the random questions that come to mind. You have an actual conversation. And the truth is, sometimes, okay, you're going to have some awkward dates. You're going to have some awkward moments, but you just have to embrace it and have the mentality that I'm going to get better and I'll practice. Because your first few dates, hopefully they go well. Hopefully these videos help and you have a good first date and you're confident, but you might have some bad experiences and that's completely okay. And also, bro, when you're on a date with a girl, think before you speak. Something that one of my mentors, Corey Wayne, talks about all the time that I really like is do not talk a girl out of liking you. When you're on a date with a girl, right, don't be a dumbass. Like, sure, you should be authentic, you should be honest, but like, there are some things that you don't have to include. Like, you don't have to say things like, oh yeah, I really miss my ex-girlfriend and she was so great, or you don't have to complain about your ex, your past relationships. Like, there are some things that you just need to think before you speak. Don't say things that are going to ruin her attraction for you. Say things that are going to increase her attraction for you. Like, you don't got to say, oh yeah, I spent 6 hours playing video games. Like, come on, bro. Be authentic, okay? But also, think before you speak. The fifth and final trait that women find extremely attractive is emotional intelligence. Ask yourself this question: do you control your emotions or do they control you? The biggest mistake that so many weak men make is yelling at their partner. You should never, ever get angry at a girl. You should never, ever get mad at her. If your girl has a problem with you, if there's an issue that she's bringing it up not because she wants you to yell at her, because she wants you to get pissed off. She's bringing it up because she wants you to be a man about it, right? If she says, I don't like the way that you've been treating me recently, or we haven't been doing a whole lot of stuff, you don't go, well, actually, I took you out on 3 dates last week, and actually, like, no, you're wrong. I've been treating you really well. No, she's telling you this because she wants a change in your action. So instead of being the guy who gets angry or who argues with her, be the guy who just hears it and takes action. And also, there's a fine line, right? If you're with a girl who's always yelling at you, you should probably just cut her off. But if she gives you constructive criticism and you just blow up on her, that's the worst thing you can do. That is not masculine. That is not masculine at all. That's extremely weak. And also, when she talks about a problem that she's having, whether it be with her work, her school, her day-to-day life, she does not always want you to 100% solve the problem. Sometimes she just wants you to listen to her, because women, they solve their problems different than men. Men solve their problems mostly through taking action, whereas women on average more solve their problems through talking through them. So when she comes to you talking about a problem that she's having, she doesn't want you to like solve it for her immediately. Yo, this is what you need to do. No, she says, I had a rough day at work today. What you should do instead is ask her, do you want my advice or do you want me to just listen to you? And 9 times out of 10, she's going to say, I just want you to listen to me. So then you just ask her questions. Oh, how did that make you feel? And then a little bit down the road, once she talks about it, then you can focus on solving the problem. But 9 times out of 10, when a girl comes to you with a problem, she doesn't always want you to solve it. She just wants you to listen. So anyways, if you're struggling with your dating life, figure out what's holding me back. What traits do I need to improve? How can I become a better man? And focus on that. But just focus on yourself. Make yourself the focus, not chasing women. And you will eventually find a girl who is into you. I'll see you for the next video, bro.